Thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Shelby Ruff. I'm the president of the board of directors for Eco El Paso. We are a 501c3 nonprofit here in El Paso focused on sustainability, renewable energy, regenerative lifestyles. And this is for our 13th annual conference. And due to the pandemic and the way the world is in chaos right now, we've decided to, for the first time in 13 years, make this a free virtual event. Typically we have engineers and architects and education credits, but this year it's really for the public. And so we've got some awesome speakers last week and this week that we'll be posting on YouTube. But today we have an awesome presenter, Ms. Candace Printz, and she is going to talk to us today a little bit about the Green Hope Project, but I'll let her give herself an introduction and tell you a little bit more.
Hello. Well, first of all, thanks for everybody who's tuning in now live and even later. We really appreciate you guys taking an interest in all things environmental and making a change in your city for whatever direction you're going to come at it. We think that's cool that you're taking the time. But like Shelby said, my name is Candace Printz. I was an art teacher at El Dorado High School in Socorro ISD for 15 years. And I was just recently promoted to Assistant Director of Fine Arts in Socorro ISD. So now I oversee all the fine arts, dance, theater, music. Nice. You know, I think at the bottom of being an educator and even the arts, I feel like it's always been a draw for me because I think there's power in art to create change and movement and shine a light on things that that people maybe need to be more aware of. And so it's kind of a journey, and I'll show you with the PowerPoint. I want you to see it. I'm a very visual person, so I like pictures and video.
Sure.
So any point, yeah, stop me, Shelby, anybody else, if you have any questions. There's only one video I'm going to show. Other than that, I am open to discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just go through this so you know who I am and what our nonprofit Green Hope Project does. And then if you have any questions afterwards, we can do that. Or like I said, in the middle of, I don't mind either. So just to make sure you guys can see my screen. Does it look good, Shelby?
Good to go.
Okay. So, so Green Hope Project, it's a nonprofit that focuses on art, education, and environmentalism. And so how did it begin? It began on just a whim of an art club meeting. So not that I had a ton of free time, but I decided to take on a second job in addition to my high school art teaching job. And I was doing the greeting cards. And so I'd organize the greeting cards at different stores and change them out. And when I went to Barnes & Noble for my job, I found a brochure that was advertising a contest for a community service project. And it had to be a teacher that proposed it. So I thought back to when my art club kids were meeting and they were really disgusted with a lot of the pollution that was blowing into our otherwise pristine Chihuahuan desert. I don't know if you know where El Dorado is, but it's kind of on the outskirts of the city almost. It's like right up against county off of Montana. But we had all that development and it's growing so quickly even now that all that debris from a lot of the homes or the corporations or the bigger businesses that were coming in, it was just blowing into the desert. So these art club kids thought, you know, wouldn't it be cool if we took all the trash and they did a giant trash monster and just had a plaque that said this was made out of 500,000 pieces of trash in your own backyard.
Nice.
And I loved that the kids were thinking in a way that, you know, they could use art for advocacy and that they could use it for a way to bring awareness. And so I was like, oh my God, that's great. That's a great idea. And then, you know, we just, you know, we kind of put it on the back burner. And then I saw that flyer at Barnes & Noble and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool to propose that. And so what I did is I went ahead and applied and I didn't even look at what the grand prize was. I was just like, I don't care. This is just cool. And so I tweaked it a little bit and I said, what we would want to do is adopt a section of the highway, clean up the trash, and rather than the trash end up in a landfill, we can create artwork out of it. And so the artwork is obviously repurposing, but I think the bigger point of it was the education component of it for people to realize what's going on, to awaken them. And then I said, step 1, the cleanup. Step 2, art workshops, because people have this stuff now, but they don't know how to use it. So we'll teach people in the community. And then step 3, they've made the work. Well, what do we do with it? They just put it in the closet and forget about it? No, we want them to showcase it. And so we did an all call for a competition, an recycled art competition for our whole region. So El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. And then the idea behind it was that when the artwork is for sale, 50% of the proceeds can go to the artist, and then the other 50% of the proceeds will go to a nonprofit of the artist's choosing. And so we just thought, gosh, there's so many amazing nonprofits that they have so much in common that if we could try to expose the public to all the good things they do, we can all kind of have a stronger circle instead of being so separated. So I put the proposal in, and then I forgot about it. And then 9 months later, I got an email saying, congratulations, you are the sole winner in the nation. Chelsea Clinton is coming to your school to do a kickoff event.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Like, what the frick? Like, wait, what? Like, and I had to go back, and I was like, I didn't even know what the prize was. And it was because she was the author of this book called It's Your World, where she was talking about how kids, no matter what their age, can make a difference in the world they live in. And, I know that it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to get into the political climate right now. And so I think what we do is just so like, we're not Republican, we're not Democrat. We're trying to do the right thing for our city no matter what. So when she came back in 2015, we were like, what the heck is this? Like, but it was a mad scramble because they're like, she's coming in 2 weeks. And so we were like, oh, we don't have a PowerPoint. We don't have a sponsor list. We don't have a website. We don't have a handout. And so these high school kids hustled and made it all happen. And what ended up happening is she was so impressed with the proposal of what the kids wanted to do that she said, I want to come back and see this through to the end. So a year later, I'd like to come and see what you guys create. And so I'll just show you this video. This is the one I was telling you about. And let's go over here and you can check this out. And this will give you a better recap of everything.
We've been so excited to be part of this whole experience, from meeting the staff here at school to meeting the students. There's a certain amount of energy here that you could feel, and I could totally see why this school won this contest and why teachers like Candy are nurtured and grow in this environment. There's definitely a lot of great things happening here.
That's, I think, what many people will remember when Miss Chelsea Clinton came that morning to visit. It brought a sense of pride to the entire El Paso area, and all eyes were on El Dorado High School and SISD, our school district. What a wonderful morning that was. The students, even the adults, just were so excited to have somebody the caliber of Chelsea Clinton visit our campus at El Dorado High School.
When we had the theater presentation and the kids themselves were giving the timeline and outlining the step-by-step process about how this project was going to unfold, I mean, you could hear a pin drop. Kids were inspired. Our community, our stakeholders were inspired. We had people, shedding tears because they were moved by this. And so that's priceless.
Well, we tried to see whatever was needed, and of course, any monetary needs that were needed, we supported with that. And then we also held actually a supply drive with our staff here at TFCU, where we have over 270 staff members, team members, and we asked them to donate some supplies that could help out the kid was needed for that. And the response was really overwhelming. I remember when we dropped them off at El Dorado High School, all the students were just very happy because they needed those supplies and they didn't even know where they were going to get them. And once they saw that was provided from us, they were very happy. And then finally, we also got people to help out and clean up. We actually sent some of our staff. Our CEO was actually there with his kids and picking up trash and there side by side with the students. So it was very important for us not just to donate with our money, but also with our time, and to show that we walk the talk.
so enjoyed the event last year, the international. I mean, how many thousands of people went through there? And the kids were so excited to actually say, I'm in high school, or I'm in grade school, or junior high, and I'm showing at a museum. And that looks pretty impressive on a resume when you're 16 or 17 years old. And the artwork is amazing.
I thought it was great. I was thrilled to be a part of it. A lot of the wonderful artists were a part of it as well, and I was glad to share this space with other talented people from my community. A lot of people showed up, and I think that's what we wanted, to kind of get informed to what the show is about, and to become a little bit more aware of the ecological crisis that we are facing.
This year, we're bringing some of the kids in to help pick mats and colors for their projects. And that's where I get more excited. Before it was just me and my coworkers, and we put mats and frames and trying to get creative. Now it's easy. I get to ask the kids what they were thinking when they were doing this project. Just kind of tap in, so how should we frame this or mat it for the art museum?
I think the real powerful thing of It's Your World for El Paso, for this area, and for the young people, it's enabling them and showing them that they can have some say and control over the preservation of their environment, how their environment is depicted through art and recycling, and doing their part that they can, whatever little bit it is as an individual that they can do, that all adds up as a group, and that has a very large effect on their community. So that enables them to change their immediate world and eventually have an impact on the greater world.
So that's just kind of like the Cliff Notes version of everything that's gone on in 4 years.
Sure.
It was just a whirlwind. It was a whirlwind of, it was just something that the kids were hanging out after school and said, wouldn't this be cool if we did this one day? And I think that's what I appreciate about young people. I mean, I know we had the Sunrise kids, and I know they're not kids anymore, but to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so like energetic and full of ideas. And I think the important thing is they're full of action. You know, there's a lot of people that talk and say, you know, we should do this, but nobody is willing to step up. And so I do appreciate that about them, and you guys.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So
yeah, that's an amazing project. What a cool, unexpected reward for all your hard work and the attention you brought to the city.
Yeah, it was crazy. But, you know, and we thought we could get this acknowledgement and then just let this dwindle. And it just seemed like a shame to have, you know, these high school kids were so excited about it that it went beyond what this competition was. And so it turned into classes being created at El Dorado geared just towards environmental art. And so I was really appreciative. And all these kids signed up. And so they all had this common goal. And then so, as I mentioned, we had the cleanup components, and we discovered several illegal dump sites out in the county, a lot of contractor waste, which just breaks my heart, and a lot of tires and in bulk in a way that they have to be not from normal people, but almost tire companies. And there's different parts of tires and, you know, roofing stuff. Not only have we discovered a lot of stuff that's just dumped, you know, intentionally, but we find animals quite often out in the county that are dumped, and we do rescue missions all the time with a lot of the rescue groups. Some of the weird stuff that we found is like grave markers, drug paraphernalia, high school diplomas, puppies in the bushes. It's just kind of insane. And actually, I think one of the attendees, she's the girl in the bottom left, they ended up adopting those puppies.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
She crawled into the thorn bushes to get them, so she deserved them. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she worked for them.
Wow.
And then, so the cleanup component then transitions into the workshop components, where we teach the public about how they can repurpose these materials, whether it's making handmade paper, making jewelry, doing planters, mosaics, functional, non-functional. And so all the workshops we do are free. And so it's just been really fun to see people, A, excited about repurposing, and B, really getting into the arts. so the It's Your World project, those classes, those kids became like my army of advocates and fundraising machines and just running everything. And I was so impressed that when Chelsea Clinton did come back a year later, we had over 1,000 attendees, and this event was run by high school kids. And I was just like so proud of them. Some of the things that the kids create for the fundraisers, these are how we repurpose stuff. So we've got soda can earrings and necklaces, burlap pencil bags, light bulb planners, and then rather than throwing away the glass bottles, we turn them into planners as well.
Nice. Those are awesome.
Yeah, they are, right? I just think they're funky.
Yeah, I like the Arizona tea
Yeah.
repurposing.
Yeah. They did great. So we've gone back and forth from having our exhibition. And so, like I said, we had the cleanups, the workshops, and then here comes the art show. The art show is called Metamorphosis, Trash to Treasure. I believe we're going on year 5 now. So this coming up, Earth Day, it'll be year 5. And so we've kind of hopped back and forth between venues. It's been at the El Paso Museum of Art several times. We've had it at the International Museum of Art. And just recently, because of COVID, obviously, we went virtual, just like you guys are doing right now. Is just a necessity. And so we do begin accepting entries in February. I think it closes in March, and then the reception is typically in April. And so we will have it again if anybody wants to enter. It's all ages, elementary, middle, high school, adults. About $1,500 in prizes are given out. I just wanted to show you some pictures of some of the pieces we've received. The main criteria is that it has to have something recycled within the artwork. Like I said, we do give out.
Oh, that light bulb was great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's cool. We do give out prizes to the winners. And so I think that's within our mission to support the arts and artists in the community. But we also want to help with the environmental component of our mission statement. So we would give back to some of the environmental groups like Chihuahuan Desert Education Coalition. And then just because we have a soft spot, obviously for like Humane Society and things like that. We did at one point have Make-A-Wish on our recipient list.
Nice.
This was the first reception, and so obviously you can see it was a pretty great turnout. We got over 600 submissions, and we had to narrow it down to the top 200 just to kind of make it a little bit more reasonable, but it was pretty incredible.
That's so great to hear. And it was submissions from schools, kids from schools all over the town?
Oh my gosh, so we opened it up to El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
and we
amazing.
got not just student entries, but adults and professional artists as well. So we separate the categories so they're not judged against each other. So it's more fair.
That's awesome.
This was last year. So the piece on the left with the turtle, this is big. It's really big, and it's on cardboard, and it's a mixed media. It's got actual trash glued to it. It's got gouache. It's got, it's got watercolor. You can see where he ripped away the cardboard on the bottom underneath the turtle.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, this was a high school kid. And so, oh my God, the message, they do write a little description about the meaning behind it. And it just makes you want to cry about like how we should be stewards for the animals and the plants and everything that don't have the capability to do what we do as humans. And we should be looking out for them because everything's connected. On the right, that peacock necklace is made out of bottle caps. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's really amazing.
And so the extent of the problem, I'm just going to be honest. We go out there, we clean up, and it's there again the next week or the next month.
I've seen that myself out in the desert, where
Really?
a lot of the dirt bikes, a lot of the people that go out there and ride.
Yes.
When you're entering and exiting out there off that road, and
Yes.
then there's a lot of recycling, junkyards over there, and yeah, it's sad to see the amount of tires that you see piled up. I'm not from here, but 7 years ago when I came out and saw the dumping, I was shocked.
It's heartbreaking, isn't
We need to
it?
crack down on that. And then, but not just crack down, but also give these contractors and companies some sort of outlet, right? If they're going to keep doing it, let's try to find
Right.
an outlet for them so it's centralized and
Yeah.
organized. And yeah, because I hate seeing trash flying all over the desert, especially plastic bags.
Right. No, and I totally agree with you, Shelby, because I think that I think it boils down to policies and how things are, rolled out and how things are followed
Mhm.
up and just the manpower, whatever. But I feel like, we can't just do nothing,
Yeah,
like, and so I think my point is that we can keep doing this and cleaning up. And yeah, it's great. We make the lot look better for that week. But this is deeper than that. This goes back to a culture within the city. This goes back to policy. This goes back to a lot of stuff. So I think we're moving in the direction of we would rather, not rather, we would simultaneously like to do this, but also kind of hit it from another angle to maybe stop it from happening in the first place.
yeah,
And so, I think everything's tied together. The abuse of dumping animals and then abusing the land and then not taking care of people who perhaps, don't have the same means in the county that they do in the city. And I think everything is so closely knitted together that once you attack one and help it be better, everything else is going to be better.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just, the contractor waste is awful. I mean, we found hypodermic needles out there. It's kind of scary. Like I said, we find animals. This is Glory. We named her Glory. So she's on the top right and left. This is when we found her 2 weeks ago. And so she was out in the desert. She's elderly, so I can't imagine she wandered out there by herself,
Yeah,
So she is in a loving foster
that's
family
great.
now. So I didn't want to show you the sad pictures like the Sarah McLachlan music without the
No,
happy.
this is great. That's awesome that, that you're able to actually impact, El Paso in a much bigger way than you probably intended.
Well,
Started
I
out.
mean, it's crazy, like the things that just end up happening as a result of, the initial thing, which was the cleanups.
Yeah,
But I got to tell you, it's like all props go to the volunteers. They go to the board members because they work their booties off. Like it's not the same if I go out there and clean up by myself, you know?
yeah,
But with these, community members helping, I think it's eye-opening. And I think I would never want to stop doing the cleanups, even though it feels like we're just barely touching the tip of the iceberg, because it's raising awareness for every individual that attends the cleanup. And so that goes much deeper. Like knowledge, I think, goes much further.
absolutely.
These are 3 other babies that we found last week on
Mhm.
Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And so they are all in foster homes now. So we
That's
got
great.
those.
Well, see, part of the benefit of doing these events for us is that, we don't want to be in a silo. And, there's a lot of people affecting sustainability in lots of ways. So this is great because now we can partner with you and get our
Yay.
volunteers to volunteer with your next event and vice
Yay.
versa. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the great part about these nonprofits like ours, right? We're a 100% volunteer nonprofit. And this is right up our alley. If we can help out the land, clean up the trash, help the animals. Yeah, this is all really cool stuff.
Yeah, and I like that you said that because a Green Hope Project, the nonprofit that came out of It's Your World Project with the high school group, we are so not territorial. We're so cooperative, and we think that we can get so much more done by working together. And just like you guys, we're 100% volunteer based, and so we just do it because we believe in it and we love our community and we want to help.
Yeah, that's great. And how many cleanups would you say that you guys do in a year or a month, or how frequent do you guys get to get out there?
When we had the high school group, we would typically start in August and go into October until it got too cold.
Gotcha.
So for 3 months, we would do cleanups, probably 3 to 4 a month. So at least 10 to 12 a year.
Oh, wow.
But
cool.
as a nonprofit, we're not just going to do the cleanups in August, September, October. We're going to wait until it warms up a little bit, and then we'll probably kick them up into gear again. So we're looking at probably 15 to 20 a year.
Right. Well, Eco Paso will definitely be there to
Yay.
help.
Oh, you're so awesome. That's great. And so, you know, It's Your World project is kind of like the little sister, little brother group, which was the high school kids. And it got to a point where the kids were graduating and they were like, oh, I still want to come back and hang out. I still want to come back and help. And I was like, oh my God, I love you kids, but you can't always be here like little creepers. Like you are begging to graduate, and then you graduate and then you want to come back. And so I was like, there's got to be a way that they can still hang out as non-students. And we just thought, you know what, this is the tipping point. We need to turn this into a nonprofit, because not only are these graduates wanting to continue to help, but their community members are, the parents are, business owners are. And so then here comes Green Hope Project, the big sister, little sister, big sister, big brother group. And so it's kind of this weird transition, right? And so we got our board members. Darlene Aguirre and Zulema Macias are both educators. One of them teaches English and history, and the other one is an art teacher, but Zulema is our graphic design goddess, like, thank God, because she knows how to do everything like that. And, you know, Darlene is just incredible with all her knowledge that she comes with. She keeps us balanced. So some of the stuff we started to do as a nonprofit, I think we're about 1.5 years old at this point as a nonprofit, but probably like going on 4.5, 5 years as, you know, the initial thing with the high school kids. So we started to do workshops in the community, where it's like make art and dine at the same time, and we do recycled art kind of things. We reached out to this artist from Lisbon, Portugal. His name is Bardalo II, and I'm just obsessed with him. He does these giant trash murals, and they're called trash animals, and they're depicting animals that are being impacted by the pollution. And so initially I told my high school kids, can you get a hold of him? And so we did. And he's like, I'd be down. Let's do a mural in El Paso.
Yes.
So he's totally willing to come. So I'm in the process of trying to get the final bit of sponsorship. So if anybody out there can help, we
need to talk offline for sure.
So right now, TFCU has been amazing. They did become the title sponsor for this. And we were reaching out to some other city entities to see if they could help, and they were all in, and then boom, COVID hit.
Yeah, of course.
And I was just like, oh no, we were so close. And he was going to bring his team, and we were already picking dates and trying. And so right now we need the final sponsorship, and we need a wall. So if anybody out there can help us, I think this would be phenomenal. We sent him a list of endangered animals in our region, so it would be very, very meaningful.
Yes, we will talk offline. We want to help you with all of the above. Yeah.
Awesome. And then this might be up your alley, because you know a lot of architects, huh?
Yes.
Environmental summit. We wanted to have an environmental summit, but it seems like you guys already do that. So I think maybe some of us should start uniting forces. And so we're going to have Michael Reynolds come and be a keynote, because he does the Earthships in Taos, New Mexico.
Yes, I've seen
so you
those.
know him. Okay.
Well, a good friend, my old business partner, bought a piece of land right down the road from him. So we went and checked them all out. And,
nice.
So yeah, Taos is an amazing place. And though you wouldn't think it, but gosh, on the inside of those, they're so warm and nice. And it's really nice how they repurposed the glass, the amount of tires that they used.
Yes.
Repurposed. I really like, because you can't recycle everything, but if you can repurpose it, that's really,
yes.
It really caught our attention.
And, you know, our board members were like, okay, we're going to get so excited about this guy, but we haven't experienced an Earthship. So we decided to rent one, and we just went down there and did an Airbnb thing and just stayed in the Earthship community, did the tours. Nice. They're just incredible. And so we wanted him to come talk, and maybe we thought it'd be kind of cool if, you know, architects could attend and just kind of pick his brain. And then COVID hit. Mm-hmm. And so he's on hold. He's already been paid, and he's in waiting. So we are waiting to see if we should do a virtual with him, or if we should just go and, you know, wait and then maybe try to do in person. I just don't know how long it's going to be before people are comfortable being in person.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, because we were so excited to have him here. And then we thought what would be really cool is if at the summit, when he's, you know, after he speaks, is we would announce an essay contest about, you know, write an essay and tell us why you would like to be chosen on scholarship to go to Taos and attend a free 6-month workshop to teach you how to build these.
Wow,
And
that's awesome.
and the agreement is that the winner chosen will then in turn have to come back to El Paso and do some presentations and teach the community about what they learned.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe we can build some earth ships here from our own waste
yes,
that we're finding in the desert.
I know, right? We'll just go. I mean, it's free materials at that point,
Exactly.
you know. And then we also started doing nature walks at the Franklin Mountain State Park, thanks to Liz and Benny. And so the idea behind this is that, you know, if we go on a nature walk and we have a photography assignment where you can win a prize for your photo, this, you know, can perhaps get people outdoors that normally wouldn't go outdoors, because you know, if you really take the time to look through a lens and try and capture some of the beauty that you see in our, you know, beautiful area here, you know, the more people know about nature and the more you're going to want to fight to preserve it, you know? And so
Yeah.
that was the idea behind that. We have a art contest coming up. This doesn't tie so much into the environmental aspect as it just does to the art and what's going on in the climate right now, but it's called Racial Harmony, and the deadline's January 2nd, 2021. If anybody would like to enter, you just go to greenhopeproject.org. Again, we're going to give out about $1,500 worth of prizes, but the cool thing about this one is that this isn't meant to be geared towards, oh, is it black, oh, is it white? This was meant to be racial harmony, equity for all. And so the judges are going to pick one winner to have their artwork turned into a mural. And so, again, we are looking for people to spread the word about this, for sponsorship for anyone. And then we would like a really cool wall location if anybody's willing to let this mural go up.
Oh yeah, we will definitely help you advertise that,
Yay,
especially with
cool.
our connections in the art community. And yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
That's really cool.
And then there's just a couple more slides and then I'll shut up or you guys can ask questions.
Oh, you're great.
Precious plastics, it's something that we definitely did not come up with. This is something that's been done overseas. And we thought, oh my gosh, this guy is so cool because he puts everything up online for free, the specs of how to build these machines. You grind up the plastics, you melt them down, and then you extrude them, and you can put them in molds and make other things out of them. And I thought, oh my gosh, all the trash we're finding, we could turn this into a small business. It could be a moneymaker. You could teach other people how to do it. High school kids can do it. So we want to do this.
Yes. Wow. I've talked about this for years because, yeah, well, I thought the concept of the fact that, yes, it's great to recycle, well, at least certain things, but we really need something local because I was told when I moved to El Paso, I was shocked that you couldn't recycle glass. And then now I'm even more shocked that because we can't afford it, we moved to every other week, which I've got overflowing recycling for cardboard, really, mostly cardboard, paper products. But I just think that we need, and every city really needs something like a manufacturing capability next to that plant to be able to crank out local products that can be sold locally, because I was told we couldn't get glass because it was too expensive because we didn't have any way to do anything with it. So we would ship it to Denver. And by the time you ship it up there, it's more expensive than the money we would have made. And so they just said, well, we can't recycle glass here. At least that's what I was told. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, and
But
I know
it
that
seems like we need to be able to, you know, recycle it and then immediately process it into something usable locally.
Yes, and I know they do have at some of the citizen drop-off locations, glass recycling, like here on the east side on Pendle, I think.
Yes, sorry, yeah, at your house. I meant. Yes.
Yeah, but it's not like you have to go and drop it off. They don't pick it up. And then there's not as many locations as I think a city of our size needs. And then, you know, I read stuff, you know, you kind of go into things naively and you get so excited and passionate about saving the world. And then you hear that China's burning their recycling. And then you hear that, you know, a percentage of it isn't really getting recycled. And you just think all your effort. Yeah, and your efforts are like in vain. You think, oh my God, they're burning it. And then there's the carcinogens, and then it's affecting those low income people that are next to those burning sites. And it's just like I said, everything's connected. And so I'm so on the same wavelength with you about having something like this locally. I mean, who knows what kind of scale this could go on to, but I think it'd be better to just do it in-house, right?
I mean, chairs, tables, desks,
Yes.
benches. There's so much you can make with it that could be used at schools, by the city of El Paso.
Oh God. And then
So,
it's like people start fighting for the recyclables because they're like, hey, we need that. Oh, I want that color. And then it becomes a thing where it's something that people are seeking rather than disposing of.
well, yeah, I mean, I had a good friend because I'm from Austin and we were in Austin and I was like, wow, this is a great new quartz countertop. And he said, no, it's recycled
Nice.
glass. You can actually buy recycled glass that looks like quartz, but it's got these little sparkles from the glass that might be a little different. And then you can also, in some cities in Central Texas, you can go get polished, rounded glass instead of gravel.
Yes.
And put it like as decoration in your yard. So there's just, yeah, a lot of cool things you could do with it that I hope El Paso can, get there and get even bigger.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that there's potential here, Future plans, we would like to start to write curriculum for teachers to embed in any content addressing environmentalism. Because I have the art and education background, but I am lacking the science and environmental background, we are seeking people that, if we get a grant, that we can pay teachers to help us write that curriculum. A yearly summit, whether it be, us running it or partnering with someone. We want to do scholarships, we're going to do murals, continue with the art exhibitions, continue with the cleanups. And ultimately, I think we're realizing that policy needs to change so that we don't have to keep dealing with the same things over and over again. We need to get to the root of the problem. So again, like if anybody, wants to help us in any way and give us advice, we're not going to pretend like we know everything. We're totally open to feedback, but we've got our Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or email, and then the website is probably the best way to get a hold of us through newsletters and stuff. We'll put all that information out, and that's greenhopeproject.org. And so that's us in a nutshell.
Wow. Well, Eco El Paso wants to be your new best friend because you're doing a lot of really cool stuff. Well, whether we can financially support it, help you raise money, definitely the volunteers. I feel like we have an army of people that want to help, and they're always asking us. And we've sort of told everyone this year, sorry, we really just don't want to get groups of people together. I don't want to be a super spreader. So we've really canceled a lot of events or just shifted everything to virtual. But I think for now, we can definitely get the message out. We want to get you as many followers as we can on all your social media. Since we're all checking it daily, they'll see your messages. And then I definitely want to make sure that we partner with you on some of these specific projects in any way we can, because you're doing a really cool set of things that we're not doing that we can partner with.
Yeah, and I think, I think what we have is like that background within the arts. Like I think it makes some lessons more palatable for younger kids because of the arts. Yeah. But also I think there's some power to arts that if, there is an urgency in something, there's an anger about something, there's a need to change something, that once you see that image in the artwork with that message, you can't unsee it. You can't argue with it. It is what it is. It's there. And so I think that we are just seeking people who are like-minded and who are willing to, to help, to step up and help. I think that's what we need, is the action component. And it doesn't have to be a great deal from every one person, but I think united, everyone pitching in a little bit is a great big help.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, really cool. I know that I learned a lot today. I'm not from El Paso, so I feel like I'm always learning new things about the city, and this is one of them. So I'm really glad that you came today. We want to highly encourage all of our followers to please connect with the Green Hope Project on social media, online, follow them, click like or subscribe, join their events. We highly recommend it. We will try to partner with you. We will post this video on YouTube. We'll share it with you as well. And we highly encourage you to share this video with all your friends. You can actually become a member of Eco El Paso for as low as $25 for the public and come to events and get free stuff as well. But we really want to encourage sustainability, really want to partner with nonprofits like yourself that are doing like-minded things that we can help in any way we can. But I was educated a lot today, so thank you. It was really helpful.
Well, and I just want to thank you for inviting us, because we've heard so many great things about you guys. I mean, your name floats around everywhere. And so I'm so glad that we got to meet finally. And I think what you guys are doing right now is like awesome. And, you know, I know everybody's scared right now because of COVID, but I just want to, you know, send my love to El Paso and just let them know that we're going to get through this, and we'll continue with these initiatives as much as we can, if it's virtual or in person. But yeah, and we do art therapy with the kids at the Juvenile Detention Center when we can.
Nice.
And I think we have so many things that are going on that I think in the next few years we want to focus more, especially on the education curriculum part. So that's the direction we're going in.
Great. Well, we definitely have some solar and electric vehicle expertise too that we can add to that curriculum.
I need to talk to you about solar later, because that's been on my bucket list.
Absolutely. Yes, we will. Well, again, thank you everyone for joining us today. We are Eco El Paso. This is our 13th annual conference. We hope to have Green Hope Project back next year in person. I really hope that we're all in person next year this time. Who knows? But yeah, if you have any questions, email us, go directly to their page and follow them. And if you have any questions, we'll relay those over to you. But again, thanks everyone for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.